15 seconds for, or about 30 seconds for the audio to start up. So I am assuming, let's see, am I on the right mic? I am on this one, Sunflower Sure Digital. There we go. All right. I believe we are live. All right. I don't know where everybody went. This is very interesting. We have Dan and Jenna, Rose, and Steve in the chat room. I know Kevin was supposed to be late. Maybe when he didn't show up, everybody else said, well, they don't need to come to class. I don't know what the deal is there. Or they're going to sneak in under the wire. It is just 5 o'clock now, but they're officially late for roll call, that's for sure. And glad to have Jen and everybody here. So, Steve, can I get a confirmation you can hear me, see me on Google Hangouts? Live, the live show. Am I live? All right, I see you everywhere, he says. Isn't that sad? All right, let's do a test recording on GarageBand, see how things are going. Hi, this is Allison Sheridan of the NosillaCast podcast, and that is the wrong microphone. I can tell that just looking at the waveform. What have you done? Audio MIDI. Built-in microphone. I'm not even going to listen to that one. That's Sure Digital is what we want. Yes, I want to trade the audio driver. I know it's wrong. I started GarageBand before I plugged the USB cable in, which meant it didn't know about my microphone. Try that one more. Built-in mic sounds pretty good. Well, you're hearing the real mic, but GarageBand was hearing the built-in mic. So I think you were hearing the good one. Hi, this is Allison Sheridan of the NosillaCast podcast, hosted at podfeet.com. There we go. Hi, this is Allison Sheridan of the NosillaCast podcast, hosted at podfeet.com. Playback's good? Oh, Dorothy snuck in late. Wait, I don't see Dorothy. Where'd you see Dorothy? Oh, there she is. Hi, Dorothy. You're late, but not as late as some other people. Kevin said he was going to be late, but he did send his written excuse. So I think we're okay there. Quick nose blow to get rid of the sniffles. Yeah, just a smidge late. We'll allow it. We'll allow it. All right. All right, well, I'm going to do the same show, whether it's a big no late fees this time. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. But let's go ahead and get this show started. Let's get this party started. Here we go. Hi, this is Allison Sheridan of the NosillaCast podcast. I stuttered that. Start that over again. It's funny how some days you can't get started. Hi, this is Allison Sheridan of the NosillaCast podcast, hosted at podfeet.com, a technology geek podcast with an ever so slight Macintosh bias. Today is Sunday, October 12th, 2014, and this is show number 492. I'm getting really, really excited about Lindsay getting married to a wonderful man named Nolan next Saturday. Now, why do you care about my personal life? Well, that is because it means you get a Bart-produced podcast next week. Don't worry, it doesn't hurt my feelings at all how much you guys enjoy his shows and are kind of glad to get just a little break from me. Really doesn't bother me at all. But we do need your help. Please send in audio and text reviews to Bart so he doesn't have to do so much work. You can email them to me at allison@podfeet.com or to Bart at podcasting@bartificer.net. And, of course, there's a link to that in the show notes, so you can get to that directly on that email in case you're driving, afraid you'll forget, or can't figure out how to spell Bartificer. In any case, get those to him early in the week so he doesn't stress out. That would really, really be great. So appreciate you guys doing that, giving him some help. We already got one transmission already. Well, this week I had 2 appearances. I got to be on the Daily Tech News Show again with Tom Merritt, where we discussed the HP breakup at length. I created a blog post to highlight the episode, so you don't have to go digging around for it if you want to go see it. Just go over to podfeet.com. It'll be up near the top somewhere. I like how Tom's shows are really crisp and to the point, start on time and end on time. It's an interesting and refreshing way to do a show. I also had the pleasure of presenting to the Dallas Apple Corps on the subject of digital disaster, life after death. Now, I didn't fly all the way to Dallas to do this. Instead, we did a Google Hangout on air, and it worked really well once we got the kinks worked out. There was an interesting challenge in doing a Hangout on air for this. I can flip between video of me, video of a single application, or video of my entire desktop in a Hangout on Air. Now, if I flip over to Keynote and then go into a slideshow mode, it turns out the audience for the Hangout gets to see a big black screen. Not exactly what they're looking for. I did a quick search of the Googles, and I found a post by Ronnie Binzer over in Google+, where he explained a workaround to that. And I thought I'd tell you what it is in case you ever run into it. He said to share the entire desktop and then go into slideshow mode in Keynote, and then the audience will be able to see the slideshow just the way I see it. Kind of curious why it works, but I was delighted to get all of that working. The next channel was the next challenge, I should say, was that I like to see the audience because I love to be interrupted with questions during my presentations. Some people hate that. I love it. When Keynote kicks into slideshow, it makes the presentation full screen on one of my monitors and black on the other, which is super helpful. I don't know why they can't leave me that second screen to be able to put other stuff up on, but they don't. Steve solved the problem by bringing me his MacBook Air with the event live but muted on screen, and that worked really, really well. It's a lot to juggle and remember to do, so I'm telling you about it in case you ever need to go do it, and I'm writing it down here so I'll have a place to go look up the answer when I get lost the next time. The good news for you is that since I did it as a Hangout on Air, that meant YouTube recorded it, and if you'd like to see the presentation, you can, or if you want to send it to your friends so that they know the things they should do to take care of their digital life in case something happens to them. Again, there's a separate blog post just on that. If you were at Macworld and saw me do it, you don't need to go see it again. Actually, it's got a few enhancements going on to it, but and it's kind of interesting to see how it worked with a live audience. But in any case, go check that out over at podfeet.com. Last week on the show, Renee Ritchie was telling me that I could add and modify widgets on my iPhone and iOS by pulling down from the top of the screen and tapping on the edit button. I told him I didn't have an edit button. And luckily, I was on video chat with him. You guys couldn't see it, but I was on video chat with him, and I proved it to him. I showed him my iPhone, and there was no edit button. He was stumped and said he'd make it his top priority to find out why. How cool is he? Anyway, after we recorded, I wanted to show Steve the problem, and I had an edit button. I was really glad that I had actually showed it to Renee, so I had a witness that it was not there, but I was baffled why it showed up. Of course, I tweeted about this mystery. Between my tweet and people hearing the show, Chris Morrison, Clive Hammett, Steve Mandela, and Philip Richardson, and probably even a few more people, all wrote to me to tell me that I must have been on the lock screen the first time I tried to do it. Sure enough, I am able to replicate this behavior by locking and unlocking my screen. With the screen locked, you do not get an edit button, which makes perfect sense. Thanks to everyone who helped me solve this mystery. Well, let's take a little intermission here to hear a quick announcement from Kirshen Sia. All right, who else snuck in? Switcher Mark stuck in late. Now, he's been helping our friend Nancy Brown, so we're gonna forgive him for being late too. We may forgive all late fees tonight. I don't know what's going on. Is there some sports ball thing going on? Well, if there was sports ball, Mark would be at that too, so. Oh shoot, I was going to try to take the noise out of this. Again, bear with me for just a second. I want to try to, I'm going to try to clean this. She's got a fair amount of noise on this. I'll let you, okay, I don't need FFmpeg, I don't think. I'll let you guys listen to this and hear how. Let's take a little intermission here to hear a quick announcement from Kirshen Sia.
Hello fellow NosillaCastaways, Kirshen Sia here from freerangecoder.com. Just a reminder that Ada Lovelace Day is coming up on Tuesday, October the 14th. It's a celebration of women in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Anyone can join in by putting up a blog post or tweet about a woman they admire in STEM. This will help encourage more in technical fields. For more information, visit Ada Lovelace Day's website, findingada.com. Once again, this is Kirshen Sia from freerangecoder.com, and I'll see you in the bitstream.
That's got a lot of noise in it. Let me see if I can get rid of this. Okay. Let's see if this sounds any better. Take this one out. Let's see, there's a way to split this, right? Tracks, split, stereo track to mono. Is that what I want? There you go. And now let's save this out. File, export. I should be showing what I'm doing. I'm over in, actually this would be more fun for you guys if you could see what I was doing. I am right now in Audacity. And I was, oh, I guess I don't have to move that. That's kind of interesting. So I guess I could pull this out as an AIFF into here. Where was I? Right here. So what I did was, if you've never messed around with this, it's pretty fun. I grabbed a section like this where luckily she had a dead spot at the beginning with noise, and I went up to Analyze, to Effect, and I went to Noise Removal, and then I clicked on this Get Noise Profile, and that selected the noise, and then you select everything, and then you say Remove the noise across the board. So let's hear if that sounds any better. Ooh.
Hello, fellow Nocilla.
Oh, you aren't going to be able to hear that. Okay, hang on. Let me try that one more time. It looks like it got rid of more noise removal. Oh, you're not seeing that. Oh, that's lame. It doesn't show you the menus. So Audacity is not giving you as much information, but let's go ahead and export that. I'm going to export that out. And I want to write over it. Sure, why not? And let's go listen to this. Let's see how that sounds. The only problem is sometimes you get something that's oversampled. I'm in Audacity. Let's hear how this sounds now. Well, let's take a little intermission here to hear a quick announcement from Kirshen Sia.
Hello, fellow Nocilla castaways. Kirshen Sia here from freerangecoder.com. Just a reminder that Ada Lovelace...
That's a little bit too much. Let me back off at one. Let me go to it. Did it? I ran it twice, so I'm going to export it a second time. I'm not sure I like the way they do screen, or they do sharing from in Google Hangouts, because as soon as I do that, you're not seeing as much as I'm seeing, which you should be able to see the whole thing. So let me stop that now, and we'll put this back in, and let's try that again. Oh, I was sharing Audacity, Steve. Yeah, it was too compressed. So this one should be somewhere in between, I think. To hear a quick announcement from Kirshen Sia.
Hello, fellow Nocilla castaways. Kirshen Sia here from freerangecoder.com. Just a reminder that Ada Lovelace Day is coming up on Tuesday, October the 14th. It's a celebration of women in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Anyone can join in by putting up a blog post or tweet about a woman they admire in STEM. This will help encourage...
Okay, I think that's better. Partially fixed. Let me move this up a little bit, though. To hear a quick announcement from Kirshen Sia. Actually, let me bring that sound... Okay, we're going to have to do something out of order here. Whenever I have to do a modification of the audio, actually, let me let you guys watch, which is way more interesting than looking at me. So we'll go to GarageBand and share that. So what I want to do is out here, I want to change the noise profile and do something like this. Not the noise profile, but the volume of that noise as she fades in. I want to do something like that. But if I do that, thank you, Steve. If I do that now, when I add the music at the beginning, it'll get all wrecked and I'll forget to go back and do it. So we are going to go add the music right now. So I'm going to go in and add my favorites, jazz, midnight dialogue. Medium goes to the beginning, right? All right. Hope somebody remembers. Let's see, where's that? Yeah, no, you want to be more like that. Select all. Deselect that one. Slide this one out a little bit. Watch where the... I think that's right there. This is show number 492. I'm getting okay. I don't need to hit it dead on. Now, when we go here, I can do... See how that's in the wrong place now because it's slid out there? See how that sounds. Announcement from Kirshen Sia.
Hello, fellow Nocilla.
A quick announcement from Kirshen Sia.
Hello, fellow Nocilla castaways. Kirshen.
Go back to your main audio control, Steve's saying. I don't know what that means. I don't know what you mean. Looks like it's diminishing in volume. Over the length, but there's nothing else on that track, Steve. That track is empty, see? I know what you're talking about, but that track is empty, so there's nothing on it. It won't matter. Well,
so
okay.
What is ahead of it?
I just showed you. Nothing. That's the Kirshen track. There's not going to ever be anything else on it.
You ever put something on it, you're in trouble.
All right, I'll put it back up right there. There. That'll make Steve happy. He's the audio guy. Uh-oh. I'm sorry, Rose. Okay. I actually think I'm going to make that a little bit sharper. Let's see. Quick announcement from Kirshen. See ya.
Hello, fellow Nosilla castaways.
Okay, there we go. Let's close that back up, and I'll give you my beautiful face again. Present to everyone. What does present to everyone mean? That's interesting. I have two choices. Okay, back up here, and we will go, and I will record from here. All right.
You in the bitstream.
Hey, Kirshen, nice to hear from you again, and I'm glad you reminded us about Ada Lovelace Day. I will have to think about who an appropriate woman to write about would be. Well, you've been hearing me review Bluetooth headsets for the last few months, and while the Jabra Sport Plus wireless Bluetooth headphones were great for Steve, no matter what ones I try work just fine, unless I put them in my spy belt, which is how I carry my phone. I don't put this headphones in the, that's stupid. I said the headphones go in this spy belt, but that's not where they go. Whoops. Get rid of that one. I'll have to think of, okay, good. We got a lot of cuts in today's show, I think. Just in one of those moods. All right. You've been hearing me review Bluetooth headsets for the last few months, and while the Jabra Sports Plus wireless Bluetooth headphones work great for Steve, no matter what ones I try, they work fine until I put my iPhone in my spy belt, which is how I carry it to jog, wash the car, walk the dog, all those kinds of things. So if I hold it in my hand, the Bluetooth headphones work, but as soon as I put it in the spy belt, boom, I can't hear it at all. I don't know why it works for Steve. It doesn't work for me. I thought maybe get my new iPhone 6, it would have a better Bluetooth radio, but that didn't fix anything. I do still like the Avantri Jogger Sports Bluetooth headphones I talked about when I'm watching podcasts on my iPad at the gym, because I can set my iPad on the little that little table in front of you while I'm on the elliptical. But as soon as I use them with my headphones, I'm sorry, with my iPhone, again they cut out as soon as the iPhone touches my body in any way. Well, I decided that after testing so many Bluetooth headsets, wired was the only way to go for me. I guess I should mention the problem to be solved here, why I wanted Bluetooth headphones. First of all, it's not high audio quality I've been looking for. It's simply that the wires bang around hitting my hands when I'm jogging, or they get caught on the rearview mirror when I'm washing a car, or they get pulled when two adorable white labs jump up and yank my brand new iPod Nano off my shirt and crack it. Well, that didn't have anything to do with my iPhone, but that did happen, of course. Well, I thought about just wearing my iPhone headphones so the wire went down my back instead of in front, and maybe down the back of the inside of my shirt or something like that, but the wire pulled the headphones out of my ears because they're designed to stay in your ears by pulling downwards in front. Then Kim Landwehr posted in our Google Plus community. You really should join it over at podfeet.com/Google Plus. Awesome community. Anyway, she posted that she was looking for earbuds that would stay in her ears when she gets sweaty while working out. Bart responded that he's been really happy with the Sennheiser PX685i headphones. I took a look at them and I realized those might be exactly what I needed. The Sennheiser PMX685i's, it's a mouthful. Anyway, the Sennheisers wrap around the back of your head and sort of just suspend themselves in your ears. Since they come in from the back, I thought they might just tolerate having the wire go down my back instead of in front. I was also pleased that they were in my price range as well at $50 on Amazon. I've mentioned a few hundred times that I'm not an audiophile, so when we got the Sennheiser PMX685i's, I handed them straight to Steve, who somehow found some music on my iPhone. I don't know how that happened, but anyway, he was immediately impressed with these Sennheiser headphones. For earbuds, the sound is fantastic, so much better than any of the Bluetooth headphones or the Apple EarPods. I know that's not setting the bar real high, but they do sound really, really good, and they're still just little earbuds. And let's see, I'm delighted with the fit and comfort of the Sennheisers. Like I was hoping, they're super light, and I can barely tell that I even have them on. They have the necessary iPhone controls on the wire, you know, volume up, down, microphone built in, and you can play, pause your audio, and answer the phone. I did test the audio on a call to my daughter, Lindsay, and she said it sounded just fine. Sennheiser includes a little clip for the wire that turns out to be super useful, especially for me to keep the wires running down my back. I can easily clip them with one hand on the back of my shirt, giving me a nice service loop to move my head without ever feeling the wires pull, which is something that bugs the crud out of me. Just as I'd hoped, having the wires down the back does not pull the headphones out of my ears, and they're tolerant of my level of sweat, and they sound fantastic. The wires might be a smidge too long for me, but I just fold the wire once or twice into the spy belt, and it's all good. They did come with two of those little earmuff thingies. I don't know what you call them. Those little black fuzzy things you stick on the earbuds, and they feel much better with those on. But unfortunately, one of them fell off, and I lost it already. So I'm kind of annoyed by that. I still don't mind them after for a fair length of time, but after about an hour, they start to irritate me on that one side. So I'm thinking of hunting around. I've got to have some of those laying around because every headphone I've ever bought seems to have come with some of those that I never used. Anyway, I can really recommend the Sennheiser PX685i Adidas Sports in-ear neckband headphones. That's the full title. And of course, I included my Amazon affiliate link all over this blog post, so if you want to go get them, you can. Let's see. What's going on? A water spout? Yikes. In Puget Sound. New York Linda's here. Hi, Linda. How are you? All right. This next one's going to be fun. It's only 10 minutes long so far. That's funny. I thought I had written a lot more than that. All right. Here we go. I've heard a lot of people say that we're too connected these days and that what we're missing is real human interaction. For the most part, I disagree with that. Because of the internet and social media, I've got friends all over the world. I mention the usual suspects often, but there's so many more that I don't often mention. Here's an example. My decision to buy the Olympus OMD EM10 camera was largely driven by Stephen Getz. Stephen is a listener to the podcast, a camera enthusiast, and someone who really enjoys helping other people spend their money. And he found me a likely candidate. But he researched options for me, advised on lens choices, and pretty much goaded me into pulling the trigger and buying the camera. Stephen lives in Canada. I consider him a friend, and yet we've never met. I could describe a lot of other wonderful people from the internet who help me every day, who enrich my life, and whom I've never met in real life. Some people say, well, it's not the same. And they're right about that. In some ways, I share more with people I don't know in meet space. Bart is one of my closest friends with whom I've shared more than I have with my real friends, quote unquote, and yet we didn't meet for the first 4 years of our friendship, and that was only a brief visit a few years ago. I'm a little more guarded with my real life friends than I am with Bart. In spite of these wonderful side effects, there definitely is a downside, and it's that Facebook in particular is ruining my real life encounters with friends and even family. Here's an example. I get to see our son Kyle pretty often, but it's actually hard to find subjects for conversation. For example, I'll say, hey, Dad and I went on a bike ride on Wednesday, and he'll say, yeah, I know. You saw a radio-controlled airplane, and you had a really nice omelet down on the beach. He knows this because Steve and I each posted on Facebook how much fun we had. And no, we did not take a picture of the omelet, but yeah, Steve did take a picture of the radio-controlled airplane. Because Kyle follows us on Facebook, we have nothing to talk to him about when we meet in real life. Here's another even more surprising example. This week, we met up with some friends at a bar for a trivia night. Do not ask how my team did. I don't want to talk about it. Among the folks there was an acquaintance I haven't spoken to in probably, 3, 4, 5 years. She's really into crafts, so I started to tell her about a really cool Christmas stocking I'm cross-stitching for Lindsay and Nolan that has the alphabet and characters like M is for mistletoe. Before I could get half the sentence out, she says, yeah, I know, you're on Y is for Yule log now. Seriously, I don't ever see women, but I do post a photo of each letter as I finish it on Facebook. So I had nothing to talk to her about either. Kyle says it's because I overshare, which could be true, but I'm only posting 1 or 2 times a week to Facebook, and yet I seem to have lost the ability to have interesting conversations with people in real life. I'm not sure what to do about this because I do like to be able to share with my friends and family and even listeners to the podcast about my real life. So I guess the only solution is to stop hanging out with real-life friends and family. Wait, Switcher Mark says, yes, I totally agree with this pod feed. You have the same problem that you try to tell people stuff, there's nothing to tell them? The good news is Steve and I talk to each other through the internet all the time. Oh, shut up, Steve. I don't want to hear that. Well. All right. Here we go. Now that I've officially moved over to 1Password from LastPass, I wanted to help others, so I decided to make a clarified tutorial on how to do it safely. One step of the migration bothered me. Step 1 is to export your most precious passwords to an unencrypted text file on your desktop. Now, I know you can delete it when you're done, but if someone nefarious got hold of your Mac at a much later date, it would be child's play for a sophisticated hacker to get the data back. Not exactly what we're looking for. Now, I had started making the tutorial, and I realized I needed a step before step 1. And that step is to do as George from Tulsa has taught us, and taught us a long time ago, create an encrypted disk image using OS X's built-in disk utility. I had already used Clarified 2's step numbering, so when I inserted a step ahead of step 1, all of the steps renumbered themselves perfectly. I wanted to make the tutorial a little easier to follow, too. I used Clarified 2's new feature that allows you to create sub-steps. I was able to break the tutorial down into 4 major steps that kind of made it seem less daunting of a task to perform. You know, it wasn't just this long ream of stuff to do. It was here's step 1, 2, 3, and 4, but here's these little things you need to do inside each one. Now, I'm not done with the tutorial yet because Pat Putnam has discovered a slight inconsistency between how browsers handle saving of files, and I want to clear that up before I publish the tutorial. It'll be easy to edit and modify the instructions after we figure this out, and then I can easily push a button to post the tutorial to the web. If you haven't upgraded to Clarified 2 yet, I think auto step numbering and sub-steps are 2 great features that make it worth the money. Check out the free trial over at clarified-it.com and see for yourself. Kevin's here. Yay! Kevin, people must have gotten the word that you were coming because we have an enthusiastic crowd, but it is a small crowd tonight. In fact, I was going to say it's all girls, but yeah, girls are taking the lead tonight. Let's see. So Chit Chat. Let's see. I pull my weight. Nice. Okay. Let's see. We got it. So Kevin, you just got here, but I need you to pull your ears off right away. Chit Chat. There we go. All right, ears back on. And we're going to put this one here. And let's slide that over. Yeah, Steve was feeling outnumbered. Luckily, Mark was here to help him a little bit. All right, let's see how that sounds. We're at clarified-it.com and see for yourself. Well, it's that time of the week again. It's time for Chit Chat Across the Pond with Bart Busschots. Are you ready to host the show next week, Bart?
Ready. That's an interesting word. I will be hosting the show next week.
Well, luckily we have one transmission already, right?
We do. Thank you to Ken Wolf from the Manhattan something theater.
Repertory. I always have trouble saying that.
It's a difficult word.
I want to add more syllables.
Yeah.
Anyway, he has a lovely transmission. We need more from you guys so that Bart doesn't have to do all of the heavy lifting himself. So send in some recordings. I would say by early in the week so he doesn't have a heart attack. You can send him stuff later, but that just makes his life more fearful.
Well, it just means I might do too much work and then end up with a 4-hour show or something.
Right.
Maybe.
All right, well, let's go ahead and tuck into Security Light this week, shall we?
Okie dokie. Just one important update crossed my radar in the last 2 weeks, which is that our friends in Apple patched Bash, only they kept it very quiet because I have personally on one of my Macs not installed it in anticipation of it showing up in software update. I have now been waiting for 2 weeks. I have not seen it yet.
So it's there, but it's not being pushed to us because they're assuming you probably don't need it.
Yeah, but I don't think that's a particularly good excuse. Right?
Well, it's not an excuse. It's a strategy.
Well, I don't think it's even a good strategy because this thing doesn't require a reboot. It's a tiny little update. Yeah, okay, so exploitation is difficult at the moment because no one has yet found a way to trick Bash and OS X in its default configuration. But the vulnerability is there, so when someone finds a way to reach in, it will suddenly become a problem, or it could suddenly become a problem, all because I didn't push a couple of kilobytes of a trivial patch at people. It makes no sense.
Just why not? There's no
You're
downside
right.
to pushing it to us.
Now, maybe it'll be in 10.10 that comes out later in the month. Maybe it'll just be in there by default. I'm certainly going to be checking its version of Bash when it comes out, but it still seems silly to me to release a patch and then not bother releasing a patch.
Yeah. Probably not doing us any harm right now because we probably don't need it, but why not,
but,
like you say.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know, it seems silly to me. Anyway, that's Apple's choice.
And that's
so
the only security update this week. Wow.
That crossed my radar. God knows what I've missed. Right? Load the news, though. Load the news. So, the American law enforcement have just lost their reason, utterly and completely, about the fact that Apple have introduced security in iOS 8. They are just every cliche you can come up with to show that they have lost all contact with reality. That has happened.
What part of security is it that they've done that's got them out of their minds?
The fact that iOS 8 encrypts the phone by default so that our phones are not horribly exposed to criminals.
Or the NSA.
But they seem to think that if you would like to keep something private, that means you're a criminal. And there was a police chief who actually said, because of this new feature, the iPhone is now the phone of choice for pedophiles, which is such horse poop. Anyway, so there has been a lot of very wise writing on this topic, and none of it from members of the American intelligence agencies. But I have sort of picked one as being, I think, it has the best mix of not being too long and being very good. Okay. There are better pieces that are longer. So the one I've chosen is by Bruce Schneier, who is sort of a guru of the security world. And so I think Bruce's post is entirely human readable and not too long. So I've linked that one in the show notes, and people can have a read.
Now, one thing I had a question about, I know when Tim Cook talked about the new encryption features, he sort of poked Google in the eye about it.
He did. He didn't, right? He didn't really poke them in the eye so much about the encryption. What he poked them in the eye about was their business model. Google are in the business of selling our information because they are an advertising company. But Apple are in the business of selling devices. He did sort of mention the encryption. And the thing is, Apple are ahead of the curve on that because Google have, after Apple's announcement, Google said, we're going to do that in L. Great, good. Bring it on.
I thought that part of what, what's his name? The grown-up.
The grown-up?
The grown-up at Google, not the two boys who started it, but, what is his name?
Schmidt?
Schmidt, yeah, Eric Schmidt said that they already did do what Apple's doing as far as encryption.
Okay, in the case of iOS and in the case of Android, I believe we can encrypt, but it is not the default.
Okay, maybe that's what he was referring to.
Eric Schmidt's rebuttal, if you'll call it that, to Tim Cook's interviews was laughable. He tried to claim that Google was not in the business of selling people's data.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, if you're going to lie to, if you're going to assume we are all that stupid, I'm not going to pay attention to you.
Yeah, because if that's not their business model, where are they making money?
And I can go to their filings and I can see what their business is. They're an advertising company. They sell us. That is their business strategy. And just own it. Be honest. Don't think we're all stupid.
Yeah. There was something else that bothered me about that. One thing in their favor is that supposedly you can go in and see exactly what they're selling about you and turn things on and off.
Sure, they have privacy controls if you're prepared to spin and poke around.
Yeah.
I find Apple's much easier. I turn off iAds, I'm done.
So you pretty much pay us a fortune for the hardware, and then that's yours, and then let's move on and do business, right?
But that's a good business model, right? I am the customer. I am the one they're trying to keep happy. I want to be the one they're trying to keep happy.
I would also say that the other is also a good business model. It might not be what you want to invest yourself in, but it's a great business model, right? It has been shown to be highly profitable, and we give value for that, right?
Right. I have a slight uncomfortableness with it in the sense that I don't think they're very upfront about the fact that is their model.
Right.
I think
that's erroneous.
I just think, okay, if you're saying to people, in exchange for a part of your privacy and you get some control over that, here's some free stuff. That's what they're doing, but they don't say that.
Right, they try to act
value
like it's
your
just
privacy.
because they're altruistic and do no evil, right?
Yeah, and that's not. I don't like that. I don't like when people aren't truthful,
Yeah.
or the whole truth, as it were.
Right. Own it, like you say.
Yeah. The EFF. I'm afraid we're still not done dinging U.S. police departments. The EFF released a warning about a piece of what they're calling malware, which is, I think, the kindest interpretation is that it's malware, which they say police departments are naively distributing to parents in the name of protecting their children. And saying it's done naively is the kindest thing you can say. This thing was written by an ex-cop. It is spyware. It has a keylogger which sends stuff to the internet unencrypted, so it's actually exposing all of your stuff.
Are you serious?
Yes, and they call it Computer Cop, and they pretend that it's going to save you on the internet. And police departments give this on CDs to parents and pressure them into installing it on their kids' computers.
Oh, jeez.
Now,
to be fair, I cannot believe that across the board the police officers did realize this was doing what they think what it's actually doing.
I don't think your average officer has a clue, but there's a certain
somewhere
whiff.
encouraged them.
There's a whiff of impropriety about this, including if the EFF are to be believed, and I generally do believe the EFF.
Mm-hmm.
The company has a history of false endorsements. They say things like the Department of Homeland Security endorsed this, and when reached out for comment, it's like, we did not endorse this. We have nothing to do with this.
Oh, wow.
That kind of stuff sends a smell to me. Now, I don't remember which U.S. government department it was. It may not have been HSS, but it was a major government department which gave them kudos which they didn't actually have.
So
I don't like
I'd
that.
like to be generous here and say that the Computer Cop people are obviously slimeballs doing something we don't want them to do, and that someone probably, without understanding how the internet works, got a hold of this and said, wow, we should have a program where all police officers should push this on parents.
Yeah, and
not understanding
it's
what
not
they
a
did.
nationwide thing, so it's sort of a per police department thing, and a whole bunch of them have bought in.
They can't have known. I mean,
I
because
hope
it's not
not,
like
right?
the police department's benefiting from it. These slimeballs are, right?
Yeah, so I'm prepared to take that there is, will somebody think of the children and some naivete combined to make this go? I mean, I think that's realistic.
Yeah.
But either way, I don't like it, and there have been a bunch of police departments who have pushed back and basically called out the EFF for endangering kids for reporting on this stuff, and that makes me feel real ick.
Yeah.
So, Computer Cop, as I say, the link is there to the EFF's report. If you're concerned, have a read of what the EFF have to say about it. It's probably the best thing to say.
I've just been glancing at this. Yeah, that definitely looks like a good read. All right. What next depressing news do you have for us, Martin?
Some good news. I've sort of peppered it one to the other, just in case we get too depressed. So Apple's two-factor auth on iCloud goes into effect today as we're recording, which is good, but it also means that if you are using a third-party app to access your calendar or your mail that is hosted in iCloud, you need to set up an app-specific password, because if the third-party app doesn't support the 2FA, you can't get in. It's not a big deal, but it's just a PSA.
It's hard.
No, it's a once-off thing. It's the same as on Google's thing. You just basically, you set this giant uber mega password for your mail client, and then you just copy and paste it into your mail client, which saves it, and you're done.
Okay.
And because it's the giant uber mega password, it is safe.
I signed up for the two-factor authentication on iCloud, and then you have to wait 3 days
I know.
for it to go into effect. So I thought it was available like a week and a half ago, because by the time my authorization came through, I chickened out and didn't do it.
Oh, no, it's been available as a service, but it's now also protecting iCloud. So it used to just protect your money. Now it's also protecting your data.
Oh, okay. Do you have it on for protecting your money?
Oh, I've had it on for my money for a very long time. I have multiple Apple IDs, so I have a bit of work to do to get all my ducks in a row, but they're almost in a row.
Huh. Okay, I guess that's not a depressing one.
No, it's not. That's good news.
Well, the next one is.
The next one, unfortunately, is less good news. So Adobe, it was discovered that Adobe Editions, which is an e-reader app that is used by a lot of public libraries, was just sending home all of your reading stuff to Adobe in the clear, unencrypted, which is just plain old nuts. I mean,
this is what book you're reading and how far into it, how many pages you've read?
Yeah, just a stream of information about your reading habits. Now, you might say that's innocent enough information, but if you're reading books on, say, democracy in Iran, that could be quite a dangerous leak.
Yeah. This
And
is
because
one of
it's
those things that
unencrypted-
sounds fine as long as you're not under a totalitarian regime or something.
Yeah, and even within a non-totalitarian state, it is perfectly acceptable to do research on things you utterly and completely detest and disagree with. An idiot looking at your logs may decide that you are actually a jihadi because you're reading up on this stuff.
Right. Instead of trying to understand or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. It's very easy to mistake someone researching, someone looking at stuff for being someone who is a something. It's very dangerous stuff. So it's very silly to have that kind of stuff going out, unencrypted. The good news is Adobe have responded and said, here's what we send and here's why we send it, and we're going to do that whole encryption thing you mentioned.
Now there was something in the original article about the Adobe Digital Editions thing that said that they were crawling the guy's hard disk and looking at everything on his disk and sending it up or something like that, but finding other files and looking in them, but then that turned out not to be the case?
Well, certainly Adobe say that is not the case, and I haven't seen anyone prove it is the case. And
I think the guy who wrote that article, or woman, I forget which, went back and said, yeah, no, it looks like I misunderstood.
Which is, yeah. So it seems it wasn't quite as evil as very first reports thought, which is good.
Just kind of icky.
Yeah, it's still silly, right?
Okay.
Then a giant big non-story which got all the media all happy was that there was a big eyeworm virus.
Well, I've been just kind of vamping away here, playing with you guys while you guys chat here, but we might as well start wrapping this thing up. Let me finish the rest of this. Let's see, I should do a save. Wait, not in that window. It's the wrong window. Uh-oh. Tesla's decided to come in. Hi, Tesla. Everybody was hoping that I'd have more dog in here. All right, thanks, Mark. Have a nice dinner. Thank you for showing up. Thank you so much for helping our friend Nancy Brown. That was really, really nice. Steve, remember Mark helped Nancy with getting going on Lightroom. Oh, I forgot to talk about something else. Oh, well, too late. Show's over. Okay, where am I? Here we go. All right. All right, bye, Bart.
Bye-bye.
Well, that's going to wind us up this week. And then we can muffle on that immediately. Hey, stop licking me. Stop licking me. He's licking me. We call her Licky for short sometimes. Here we go.
Bye-bye.
Well, that's going to wind us up for this week. Many thanks for our sponsor to helping pay the bills. Help pay the bills. Head on over to blueangleLearning.com or clarify-it.com. Don't forget to send in your dumb questions, comments, and suggestions. Email me at allison@podfeet.com. Follow me on Twitter and app.net@podfeet. And don't forget to send in your submissions to Bart at podcasting@bartificer.net. Wait, .net.com. Better go check that. Wait for it. I've got it up here. Bartificer.net. Yes, it was that. All right. Be sure to check out the NosillaCast Google Plus community. I have some hard questions I've posted in there, and I could use some help. Dorothy's been getting some help from George from Tulsa with the problem she's having with her Roku. I've got a bunch of problems. I'm still trying to figure out that thing with Pat Putnam and our LastPass to 1Password tutorial, and I need some help, so I want some people to get over there to the Google Plus community, podfeet.com/Google Plus. Post your own questions if you want, but answer my questions because I'm stuck. If you want to join in the fun of the lively audience did this week, head on over to podfeet.com/live on Sunday nights at 5 p.m. Pacific time. Join the friendly and enthusiastic Nosilla castaways. Thanks for listening, and stay subscribed. Make a stop licking me ringtone. Oh, dear. All right. Kevin, cover yours. Quick. Here it comes. Spin a dialogue. There it goes. Okay, put them back on. All right. We are going right about there. Let's hear how that sounds. And stay subscribed. All right. There we go. We are a wrap. By the way, I'm going to show you guys something, and I think Linda, New York Linda there, gets credit for this particular thing, and I will show you. When I'm done recording, for some reason, do you see this little white thing up here at the top? I'm moving back and forth. Sometimes if I paste something big in and then I take it back out, that's actually the marker for the very end of the show. Linda wrote to me years ago and said, how come there's just dead silence for a really long time at the end of your show? So the very last thing I do is I grab that little piece and I pull it up to there. Whoops, there it goes. It snaps to it. Sometimes I forget, but most of the times I don't, and that's because of New York Linda. And we're back to me. Never get that. Cat took my ear. That would be a good ringtone. All right, we need to join up the pieces here. Let me find these. Oh, yeah, we do. We did a lot of stopping there. And we'll join those. Oh, that's too bad the cat took your ear. First, I thought Pod Pete was talking to Bart. I missed that Tesla had come in. That's awesome. I love that, Brett. That is absolutely hysterical. That's the best thing I've heard this week. All right, saving, sharing, exporting song to disk, and export. So, in case you have not figured this out, there is no live show next week. No live show. I will be probably intoxicated. We'll be wine tasting on Sunday after the wedding, so no live show next week. So we should probably remember to, like, I don't know, tweet that or something, Steve, at some point. Oh, yeah. Oh, Roku's thing, yeah. Yeah, now Roku's trying to phone home for, poor thing. All right, guys, I think I'm going to go out in reverse order. I'm going to say goodbye to Alpha Geek Radio. Goodbye, Alpha Geek Radio. We are done. We are out. Thank you very much for coming. AlphaGeekRadio.com is where you guys can listen. You can use TuneIn Radio on your iOS or Android device. I think it might even, yeah, it works on Windows Phone as well. So go check out Alpha Geek Radio at AlphaGeekRadio.com. Wow, I clicked quit on that a little quick. Didn't mean to quite hit it that fast, but I did. That was an abrupt end. And next we're going to let off the people on the app. So goodbye. Anybody who wants to test the app, by the way, the iOS 8 app, send an email to Donald Burr. What did Donald Burr say? What did I have his address as? It was Don Burr, B-U-R-R, @gmail.com. If you want to beta test the iOS 8 app, he would love to get more testers going. So go ahead and give him an email and tell him you want to do some testing. So goodbye, app people. Oh, I can still talk to you. I'm typing to you, Rose, forgetting that you're still on the air here. St. Kitts in the Caribbean, but not till next year. So I'm now going to say goodbye to the live audience. Goodbye, live audience. I'm going on live. I'm going. Goodbye.